Welcome to the WanderLearn show. I'm your host, Francis Tapon. In this episode, I have my second interview with Derek Sivers, who's the author of this book, Useful, Not True. Fascinating book about how to reframe your life. We talk about how it applies to parenting and how do you do it in your day-to-day life. How, when you're stuck in a rut or you have a mental block or you're depressed, angry, sad, frustrated, how do you actually get out of that situation and start thinking of things in a different perspective? The whole idea about this book is how do you decode your life differently? And in this 6-minute interview, you get a lot of information. And we end the interview talking about why is it that we confuse facts and feelings? Let's dive in. 6 minutes of Derek Sivers. Tell me about how Useful, Not True has helped in your parenting journey. You have a son, and how do you teach him this concept? Because the earlier you figure this thing out, the better off you are as a human being, I think, right? So I imagine, but I think a lot of children might struggle to kind of grasp a concept that truth is kind of a relative thing. For when people declare truth, it is relative.
Actually, he's lived it because his mom and I were only together for a year. It was a very short-lived relationship. She got pregnant, and here we are. So he's grown up with separate households his whole life. Two very different households. She's born in South India. I'm born in California. We have very different belief systems and household rules. So he's grown up living in two realities half the week each his whole life. So I think he didn't need me to preach it to him.
I would think that for kids, it would have to be a paramount lesson that if you can somehow grasp it early. But you're saying that he did.
I think so. I think he's already lived that it's seeing that there's different realities. It's like the concept of a third culture kid, right? That has, I guess you could say he's actually grown up in three cultures because he's got my kind of California American perspective on the world. He's got her Indian view on the world. And then he's grown up in New Zealand, which is not completely dissimilar. It's not like we're in Saudi Arabia, but it's a different worldview slightly than either of his parents hold. So he's grown up inhabiting three worlds, and he's only 13.
Yeah, I grew up the same way because my mom was from Chile. My father was French, and I was born in San Francisco. And so same kind of thing, basically living in three cultures. So actually, they call that a fourth culture kid. If you want to reframe a situation, and how can you move past some obstacles that you might have in your head? What techniques? Because you're not perfect either, Derek. So like, there's probably some times where you succumb to the same things that you advise people not to do.
Yeah, it's just journaling. For me, journaling gets me out of it. For anyone listening to this, it could be talking to your friend. It could be talking to your dog. It could be, drinking yourself into a stupor. But at some point, you've got to force yourself to consider other ways of seeing it. And I do mean force, because your instinct and everything in you will say something like, this situation sucks. That person screwed me over, and now I'm screwed. And that will just feel like a reality. And if you try to challenge yourself to see another point of view, your instinct is going to be to say, no, there's no other point of view. This is just how it is. So you have to force yourself to ask useful questions like, what's great about this? And go past your instinct to say, nothing's great about this. It's just bad. But force yourself to find something great about it. And then once you do, force yourself to find another way of looking at it. Just keep going. And at some point, you'll realize that no way of looking at this is right or wrong. It's just different ways of holding this 3D object in your hands and looking at it from different perspectives. And then you can choose one that helps you take the right actions or helps you feel at peace.
Why, Derek, do you think that people confuse feelings with facts?
Oh, because it just, that's how we experience the world, right? Our senses take in a situation and we immediately judge it. there's a rat on the floor. Ew, that's gross. That's disgusting. How scary. And
other people
audience,
say
by the
food.
Way, yeah, I have pet rats right now. And part of the reason I have pet rats is because my initial reaction to getting a pet rat was, ew, gross. Are you kidding? That sounds like the worst idea ever. And when my boy said, no, look at YouTube, look, they're really cute, it was because I felt such an initial repulsion to the idea that I decided to do it. I thought, yeah, this is a prejudice I can reverse. That's the same reason I went to China for my first time last year. That's the same reason I went to the Middle East for my first time 2 years ago. In traveling, I notice I have a prejudice against places. I decide in advance without even going there that I don't like that place. We all know that feeling. And when I notice that in myself, I use that as a compass to steer towards it. Ideally, I would keep doing that for my whole life, steering into my prejudices to go towards them, get inside of them, and get to know them, because I think the prejudice usually just means I don't understand it well enough.
Right. You embrace the discomfort. You love, it seems like that way. I mean, I've never met anybody like you that really, like, you think, all my body, all my soul is telling me not to do that thing. I think I'm going to go do that thing. That's
well,
like Derek.
but see, you still hold some things in your comfort zone that to me are still in my discomfort zone. Your stories of sleeping in the graveyards at night. Right. I thought that was a beautiful travel hack. But man, I would just do anything I could to just find anybody's couch to not have to sleep overnight in a graveyard. And Francis goes, hey, here's a graveyard. Good place to sleep.
Quiet. It's really quiet. Nobody else is there. Yeah. And you've got some built-in company, I suppose. And that ends this episode of the WanderLearn podcast, where we explore travel, technology, and transformation. If you'd like to see the show notes with links to what we've talked about, go to wanderlearn.com and click on this episode. If you'd like to connect with me, just remember Tapon. That's my first initial and my last name. Tapon is always my social media username. My website is ftapon.com. Do you want to leave me an anonymous voicemail where you can make a comment or ask a question? Then go to speakpipe.com/ftapon. Furthermore, if you'd like to get rewarded for supporting my projects, then go to patreon.com/ftapon. That's where you can pick up some remarkable rewards for as little as $2 a month. Now, 5 quick favors. Number 1, subscribe to the WanderLearn podcast. 2, download it. 3, share it. 4, review it. And 5, sign up for my newsletter at wanderlearn.com. Our theme music was composed by Eric Stratman. This is Francis Tapon, encouraging you to wander and learn.